is now.
NUFC Undisputed.
With Chris the American Man and Derek the Mighty Win. NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome to NUFC Talk. We are live once again here to talk the latest going on with Newcastle United. Don't forget to smash the like button if you are watching on YouTube. Don't forget to become a member if you can as well. If you are listening on radio, thank you very much. And join us on YouTube for more stuff, of course. But regardless, welcome one and all. We are live. We are live. So don't forget to smash the like button once again, and let's get going. We got a few things to discuss. The CEO, David Hopkinson, has been talking in an interview with TalkSport, and there's a few things that he said that he's mentioned about our spending, if you will. We'll get to that, of course. And
So that
many other
makes the
stuff.
news, but his conversation with you doesn't. That's bad.
Well, maybe because I didn't. There wasn't an interview to make any news about. It was a private conversation, so it's all right. And who knows? Maybe we'll get him on the show. Don't worry, I got the contact. Maybe in the future we might get him on the show. So subscribe. Don't forget to stay on and watch this space. And also, we'll talk about the inevitable. Tonight, we got a match against Man City away. Can Newcastle United do the impossible and score 2 goals at least, or even 3, to win? Or plain and simple, can we turn this around, or is the Carabao Cup done and dusted? Let us know in the comment section down below. And yeah, let's get right down to it, ladies and gents. How are you? Good morning, all of you out there. And all right, so yeah, it's been an interesting morning so far in the UK with the David Hopkinson speaking out there, having an interview, and of course our social media team right on the spot quoting and sending quotes. There's also one that they about Dusan Vlahovic, and according to Football Italia, Newcastle hold a pre-contract talks with Serbian forward Dusan Vlahovic, 26, who is available on a free transfer this summer. AC Milan, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Dortmund also likely to hold talks with his representatives. He has scored 127 goals in 295 appearances in his career to date. Is that a good free option? Well, maybe we can have a quick discussion on that. If we need a backup striker, why wouldn't we want to get him? Well, to be honest, I don't even know if it would be a backup striker, because if our strikers are not lighting it up, then maybe he can come on, because he is old school center forward with
He was
modern
on like
qualities.
360 grand a week at Juventus, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, and
That was why we've been linked with him in the past, but it's the wages that have always put us off.
you can say that, but I mean, but we don't know.
Well,
what's
there's
going on, 'cause
no,
if
you can't bring an outsider into the field and pay him, make him the best paid player in the club.
well, first of all, if he was meant to leave, when these situations happen where the player wants to leave a club or the club wants a player to leave, the salary goes down. In many cases, there will be a Jadon Sancho who doesn't want to go down. Once it might happen, but usually the player tends to go down in salary. So we don't know what happened. We don't know if that's what put us off. We don't know. You'd want to assume that because you think everything is hunky-dory and we're the victims of everything, but that's not the case regularly. So, just letting you know, mate, because, I know everything is great and all that stuff. So regardless, he might be a good free option, but as you say, because if you've said before, if you defended with Lloyd Kelly, that his contract might be huge because he's going to be a free agent.
That's right, absolutely.
And that means you can pay him so much money, which I don't agree with at all, by the way. But it might be something that Newcastle do. I certainly don't want
doing
to have
like
100.
that made with 20 mil, and yeah, enough 20 mil.
Yeah, but you criticized that when it came to Paul Mitchell, so I don't know which side of the coin you are on. But
No, all I've said about that with Paul Mitchell is he's not responsible for getting them for free. You know, he sold him for 20 million. Well, looking at the way he's playing, that wasn't a hard thing to do, was it? Which is why.
no, but at the time, but how can you say that? At the time, Lloyd Kelly wasn't playing at all. Like he wasn't this. It was all a surprise, man. Don't try to act like it's an easy deal because it wasn't. It was all a surprise that we were able to get that kind of money for Lloyd Kelly. Come
Well,
on,
no,
man.
because as I said when we were talking about his wages, had we paid the market value for him, it would have been 55 million.
No, he wouldn't have, man. No, he wouldn't have. Get out of here, man. Anyway, that Lloyd Kelly is a thing of the past. But Vlahovic could be an option according to Football Italia. That's the information out there. So maybe not. It's something to look for the summer. Now, the CEO has been quoted speaking to TalkSport earlier today. The CEO has said, "We had money to spend in the window. We worked behind the scenes, but didn't find the right player to come in. I didn't want to do something that could affect us this summer." So, is that a valid response? Sure, but it also debunks any theory that we didn't have money, that we didn't have any money. So it's as clear as day. It's plain and simple. Newcastle United had money to spend. They didn't find the right player. Everything leading to a certain individual. That's all I got to say. And it's a very, very risky thing to do. To be fair, I mean, looking at that, there's a lot of players that could have came in, but you know, I don't know. He did say also
there's not a single player that could have come in that's been reported as going anywhere else or whatever, that I would have said, wow, that's going to really help us improve the season. Not a one. And I think that's what they want. They've decided we're not going to go for second best anymore. We're going to go for exactly what we want.
Well, what? So you're trying to do exactly what we did last summer, then? Go out there and compete for the best players in the world. We can't do that.
Not necessarily.
It's proven that we can't do it.
But go out and
you just said we go out there for the best. So what are you on about?
No, we're going to go out and not get second best like we did in the summer. But let's be more structured about that. Work on the assumption that, for example, we're not going to get a Vlahovic. Because if Liverpool or Chelsea or Man City or any of the big boys go for Vlahovic on a free,
well, I don't think they will anyway.
We're not going to get him. He's a quality player, man.
Yeah, but a lot of people weren't thinking so when we were linked with him. So again, that's why fans are
well, no,
wild
because
thing,
as I said,
it's insane.
With him, he wasn't talking about taking a wage cut.
Says who? Where did you hear this about a wage cut, man? You keep bringing that as facts. When did you ever hear something about a wage?
Right, you have Vlahovic.
We weren't even in it.
Hang on, you have Vlahovic, and you're on £360 a week, 360 grand a week, and I come up to you say, "Come play for us for 120." What are you going to say?
Well, if the club does, I mean, he's probably, if you got a next year, if you're going to be free, then you probably wait it out.
I've got to pay it.
No, hold on. Yeah, well, that's right. But if next year I'm going to be a free agent, then I'm probably going to wait it out. But if I got a 5-year contract and the manager doesn't want me, the club doesn't want me, then I want to play. Footballers want to play, so you might get a pay cut. Yeah, it happens all the time. Actually, I don't know why you're trying to make it as if it's something out of the moon. Well, we don't know what happened, so we don't. As far as we know, we don't. As far as we know, we don't. We weren't even in the conversation. We didn't even go out there and attempt to sign anybody. So, or him in this particular case. So we don't know. We've been linked so many times, but it's been rubbished as well, many times about Dusan Vlahovic. So I don't know. David Hopkinson has said that the number one thing I talk to the ownership about is ambition. That is the magic word here. We have total alignment on that. This is a club that by 2030, once again, he puts out the 2030, will be consistently contending for top prizes in global football. Newcastle have a lot of wood to chop between here and there. When I see Newcastle United, everywhere I look, I see opportunity. So those are the quotes. There's one more here that David Hopkinson came out and said, let me tell you, this was an extraordinary transfer window in terms of activity. We have an amazing sporting director in Russ Wilson. He's been my first call in this morning and last call at night every day this month. The activity has been incredibly high. We didn't find the right opportunity for an acquisition, but we had the room to do so. So listen, if the CEO debunks any money theory, then that's it, because he's the one that sees every single account. He's the boss. He's in charge of everybody. But with that being said, he's also rubbished Eddie Howe's statements, hasn't he? I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, listen, there's no such. It's just looking at it for what it is. Eddie Howe came out and said we have PSR restrictions, we are knackered and all that. And the CEO comes out and says that we had money, we just didn't find the right player. Why couldn't Eddie Howe say that, though? Why couldn't Eddie Howe say we didn't have the right player? And therefore, by the way, call us now and have your say. 0191-916-8864. Call us and have your say. Do you believe Eddie Howe? Do you believe the CEO? Do you think that we can beat Man City tonight? Whatever statement you want to make, call us now and have your say. 0191-916-8864. So yeah. So what do you got to say about that? Actually, now that look at it, they are speaking two different things. And I wonder why.
I don't think they are speaking two different things, are they? Because I've said all along there's definitely money there, which is what David Hopkinson's just.
Yeah, but now I'm talking about you, man. I'm talking about Eddie Howe and the CEO. Eddie Howe didn't say we're fine with money, no restrictions, and we just didn't find the right player. He said we have restrictions, we have PSR problems, so we got to be careful.
He said what we spend now will affect what we've got to spend in the summer, which of course it will do. And the summer's a better time to buy than the winter, which it is. That's what he said. He didn't say we had no money. He said, but every I can't remember the phrase he used, every something we do has repercussions down the line. And historically, you don't get good deals in the winter window. That's what Eddie Howe said. Didn't say we didn't have any money.
That's certainly not what I read, but maybe. Well, obviously, I don't know if I can trust you because you read with your tinted glasses, so I'm not sure. Let's see here, because I do get quotes from me. These are from Keith Downey. Is it a risk? Yes. I need to choose my words carefully here. We were left with no other option, really. We were left with no other option, really. Every decision we make has a long-term implication. All of this is like so doom and gloom. There was no guarantee even assigning someone with the funds we had would even help us short-term. You understand what this says? There was no guarantee even signing someone with the funds we had would even help us. That means funds might have been, well, we talked here when the rumor came out or the information came out that we set aside $20 million for a center back.
Well, that was not to me. It was always for us. I said that.
We thought, what are you going to buy with $20 million? If that's the case, then, maybe that's why Eddie Howe wanted to be careful what to say. He didn't want to say that these guys just gave me $20 million to buy players. What am I going to do with that? That's the situation. So I don't know, but the money thing is an ongoing issue, or a conversation, I guess you should say. We got Chris calling us back from London. Chris, how are you, mate?
Morning, lads. It seems every time I get ill and put off work, I end up ringing you guys up. I'm not really complaining today because we got a lead tonight. Swinger. I don't know if we're going to win it. Because it's a big push to go for. But, Bads, do you remember transfer deadline day that we were rumoured to sign some 19-year-old midfielder?
We're rumoured to sign about 20 19-year-old midfielders.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember his surname because he's Ivorian. Apparently, he plays for Stade Reims.
Yeah. Daniel Ledger or something. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you know that literally 12 hours after we said we were going to buy him, he's now gone to Paris FC?
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that last night.
We are really slow when it comes to transfers, mate. And this PSR thing, do you think that generally just means that what's his name, Wilson's going to have to do all the transfers from now on? Because it looks like with all this PR stuff, we're going to have to start buying minimum with maximum sell-on.
Well, Wilson has been in charge of the transfer goings on, as you put it, since he came here, which is now nearly 6 months, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm trying to say, Win, with the whole point of people keep mentioning PSR, and obviously Chris said, I didn't realise that the CEO has said that we do have money. Is there going to be a point where it's going to have to be pay minimum, buy sell maximum? Because if we keep saying we've got no money, we're going to have to buy cheaper players.
Well, no. Well, Hopkinson's just said this morning that we have got money.
Yeah, well,
no, but it's not. That's not the point. I get what you're saying, Win. I believe what the owner, like the guy that's in charge, says. Yeah, but if Eddie and everybody else keep saying that we got no money, then are we just going to have to follow into the motto of Brighton and Bournemouth and buy minimum, sell maximum? So therefore, the manager has no excuse to say we got no money because we're bringing in players that we can make money on.
What? Well, that's
that begs the question: what sort of club are we? Is that what we do? Do we want to be?
Well, we're an average club like everybody else. I say this honestly because you remember Kuzmanov, the guy that we were looking at, the guy from Rennes, the defender now plays for Man City. They didn't pay a lot of money for him. They paid, 21 million? They paid 15 million for another Brazilian centre-back. And, like, I've always said it isn't what you spend, it's what you see in a player that you can bring out of them. And I think that's what a lot of us fans have forgotten. We brought in a kid called Rory Flanagan from Blackburn, who was supposedly the next Adam Wharton. That's what we were told, because he was, like, 15, playing in Blackburn's first team, looked amazing. Now, the fact is we haven't seen him. We have no idea where he is, but it is the point. Look at Miley. Miley came out of our youth. You can find players out there that make a big difference. I mean, Sunderland just, win 15 million plus 3 million for like one of the top wingers from Belgium? Like, I say this because it's been said in the papers lately, right, Chris? There's a striker that plays for RB Salzburg. He scored against Aston Villa. His name's Kareem Konate. He is one of the young, best prospect strikers. People didn't want to touch him because he had an ACL. He's come back from that ACL and he's banging in goals. Why are we not looking at places like Salzburg, seeming as they have developed the leading world's best strikers?
To me, it's insane because, like, even the Mackhams have signed this great winger from Belgium. That again, the only statement that Win can make is, "We will see." We shall see, and you know that's kind of a rubbish comeback to make when you're making an argument. The thing is, if you got money, spend freely. If you complain that you ain't got no money, just like anything in life, then you can't spend then you can't want top stuff. If I'm broke, I can't go and try to hire Keith Downey to present. I have to hire Mighty Win. So you know it's that simple.
Exactly.
Man. So you know what I mean. But we can't complain. We can't complain. It is the what we were dealt with. It is what it is. So I agree with you that we should be, well, even if we were the richest club even the richest club in the world, Chris, like Man City's one of, they spend on young talent. So why can't we?
Same with Real Madrid. Real Madrid go to Brazil because they figured that the best value they can get is to go abroad. Now the other problem is we all know that Man City, they own River Plate. So they will get a better selection of young Argentinian players because they own certain clubs like Troyes, who they picked up certain players from. They actually go the multi-club model, so they can send players to like Girona, Troyes. They can they can get them from River Plate in Argentina.
Well,
they have their sources to get players in. But
hold on, let me fix that because they don't own River Plate. River Plate cannot be owned. It's a fan owned type club like Real Madrid. They don't. But it's but the thing
it's not. It's Barcelona. No, sorry, it is Barcelona. Is it Barcelona that send their staff to River Plate as a deal to get deals for the River Plate Stars?
No. I've never heard of that.
Never heard that.
But the thing is, regardless, Man City will send their people to watch a great player like Julian Alvarez, like Echeverry, that they just signed.
Yeah.
And they will buy him 6 months before and say, you know what, you can keep him because he's an important player for you. Keep him, play the Copa Libertadores, play the great tournaments for you, but he's ours. So when he'll come back to us in a year's time or in 6 months' time.
Yeah, but isn't that like Brighton? Because Brighton do it, don't they? They bring in the players from South America and they send them out on loan to all sorts of clubs in Europe. And then the ones that work out, they bring back in. But the ones that don't work out, they're going to make money on them anyway because someone else has been looking at them.
Yeah, and that doesn't make you a selling club. Like when it was one.
No, it makes you a proper club because a proper club is someone that brings in players and sends them out to the best club they can, who think that will develop the player, which they cannot offer them straight away in first team football. That's like Arsenal. They sent William Saliba to Marseille, and he really developed there, and he's come back a solid defender. And now they've gone and sent Ethan Nwari to Marseille because of the way that Saliba came back after his year and something loan that turned him into a world-class defender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you want to come in and try
well, first of all, we're all singing from the same hymn sheet in that our loan system, sure, like God bless him.
But let's be fair, he should be sacked, Win.
It's just not fit for purpose. I'll use Mr. Mitchell's words. And as regards what Brighton are doing, is taking a gamble on loads of players. Some of them come off, and when they come off, they sell them for a lot of money. And where do you end up if you do that? Where Brighton are, in mid-table.
Yeah, I was reading. Actually, something you like, Win. I was reading this morning. Yeah, there's a website called Transfermark, and apparently, if you look on Transfermark's website, it tells you every single club that uses their database to sign players. PSV, Ajax, Royal. There's loads of them. That's how they do it. They sign up to this so-called global brand of database to find players they're looking for.
We are looking at Transfermark every day. I'm trying to
saying, as a club,
presenters, that's one of our go-to websites for.
No, but I'm not. Yeah, but that's what you two do. It's not what the club does.
Maybe they should.
Win. Did you know what? I found out. I've been ignoring a lot of the youth, yeah. But who is in charge of the youth academy at Newcastle United?
Well, it's Harper now.
I know, I think.
Steve Harper.
What on earth would you do leaving a goalkeeper in charge of the development of youth players, a guy that sat, as well as we both know, Win, the guy that spent almost 10 years sat on the bench warming his backside? What does he have to offer to our youth?
Well, there's a reason why they hired him, to be fair, but I'm sure
I'd like you to have that conversation with Steve Harper standing next to you.
It doesn't make a blind bit of difference, Win. I'm not a coward, mate. I work in security, doing personal security, protecting people. I know my job, but the fact is, as much as we love players, Win, it is a fact that he spent more time on the bench at Newcastle than he did ever playing.
Yeah, because that has nothing to do with his job now. He could be a smart guy. It's just like saying Alan Shearer should be a head coach.
I understand what you're saying, but our youth system, apart from the under-18s, is failing.
But it's like saying Arsene Wenger was a crap footballer, so how can he possibly be a good manager?
Yeah. Well, the two don't.
No, actually, Win, you're wrong, because it proves that most average footballers do become the world's best managers, like Rafa Benitez, like Jurgen Klopp.
So why could the world's best, the world's most average goalkeeper, not become the best?
But the two don't correlate. The two don't correlate with each other. The thing is, I'm sure he's going to.
No, it doesn't. Win. You remember, like a couple of years ago, Chelsea sacked all their staff, didn't they? Yeah. Now, last year they released both leading members of their youth facility, the people that run the under-21s and the under-18s and the under-15s. They were both terminated and left Chelsea. Why did we not go and get them? Seeming as like their plan is foolproof. You've seen what their youth system. These two blokes left, and we didn't go anywhere near them.
Well, I don't know. That's way above my pay grade, but you know.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, I understand the Steve Harper thing.
Exactly what you're saying,
Chris, it's a job for the boys.
Yes, but I don't know about jobs for the boys. I think those days are long gone.
Yeah, I honestly, mate, I really do think that even with as soon as we took over, the amount of old players you saw turn up, it generally looks like it's just a job for the boys. What made Shola Amiobi qualify to be a loan market, like the head of loans? He had no job before he came to us.
Well,
even Steve Harper, he never did. He was never in charge of any youth system before we handed him a job.
Well, to be fair, you know, our new CEO was never a CEO before, so does that mean that he shouldn't be a CEO? Somebody's getting
no, but
job.
he was head of global reach out for Real Madrid, wasn't he? I think that's why they hired him, because he brought in a lot of money to Real Madrid by setting up some online website.
Yeah. Well, you know, listen, I don't know why they got Harper there. I'm sure there's a reason for it, but you know, I'm assuming he's gonna he gets audited every year like everybody else in their job. So again, with the Shola situation,
do you know what I'm saying though, Chris?
Yeah. No, well, I understand what you're saying. Now, listen, before we let you go, there's a question.
What I'm saying is that we're supposed to be this top team soon, and the fact is, unless we go on about, we have to have a proper manager, a proper assistant manager, proper training staff, proper CEO, proper director of football. But if we haven't got the right people that know how to train and develop a youth system, it's never going to improve. And I thought that would have been one of the things the club would have looked at, because there are a lot of people out there that have run really good youth systems, like the two guys that left Chelsea. I can't name them because it was a year ago. But I'm just stating, if we can't sign players, why haven't we tapped into... We're going on about it's going to take 10 years to improve our youth facilities, but we ain't got nobody to improve our youth facilities. Yeah, we haven't hired anyone.
But you've also got to take into consideration that when you are in the process of recruiting youth players for your academy, when you're at Chelsea, you're going to have more chance of recruiting better players than we are as a Newcastle.
All right. Let's I got a comment for you, Chris, to react to, and then we got to let you go. Michael here commenting, the caller is comparing us with Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Chelsea. All these clubs cherry pick our players, sadly, because they pay $300K and have more favorable location. What do you guys say about that? You're in London, so people.
I'm not hang on. I will answer this. I'm not comparing us to any team. Now, fans themselves have aspired us to compare ourselves to be Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United. It's Christian, you said it last night. That is supposedly where we're supposed to be heading towards. You know, that's our ambition, to compete with those teams. If we don't, like, our youth facilities are so bad, that's the reason why Michael Carrick went everywhere else. Like, how are we supposed to bring in the best talent around where we live if we're not half-arsed and we put some goalkeeper in charge of our youth development? It sounds horrible, but
no.
We always say, do better, learn by your mistakes, and the club need to do better when it comes to like finding people that can run the youth facility properly. Ajax put £15 million a year into their youth facilities, Chris, and the reason for that is because they cannot afford to go out and spend big transfers, so they promote within last week I said Benfica. Benfica, they have the best youth system in Europe. They have won the under-17s Champions League so many times because they put major money into the recruitment, going abroad in Europe and finding kids that are young and have extreme talent. We just don't seem to do that.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
On wins concern,
last thoughts,
win. I hope you get what you deserve tonight, mate, and I hope the team actually bother to try and win tonight.
Ooh,
I'm sure they will.
I'm sure for all of us.
No, Chris, I'm being polite. For win's sake, I genuinely believe that Eddie and that should turn up tonight. Because if they just sit back like they did against Liverpool,
you can't.
They didn't sit back against Liverpool.
Yeah, good luck answering the fans after that.
So, before you go, what's your match prediction tonight?
My prediction is that if by a small miracle our players actually work as a team and as a unit and actually trusted each other, there's a chance. There's a chance for anybody, Chris, to do anything. I don't know who they're going to put up front, Visser or Voldemada. Either way, I think Visser we can use to counter-attack Man City. I think Voldemada, if we tried holding up against their two centre-backs, we'd be in a lot of trouble because they get the ball off him quite fast.
There you go. Cheers, Grace. Thank you for calling us, buddy. Yes,
Have
a good day. Have a good one.
All right, mate. Thanks. Bye.
Right.
There you go. That was Chris from London. Call us now. Have your say, folks. 0191-916-8864. Have your say. Howie, get out of bed and let us know what you think, ladies and gents. It's a situation. It's a continuing discussion of what's going on. But the fact of the matter is, the CEO came out today and said there is no problem with money. It's about finding the right player, and that has a lot to do with the manager. He didn't say that, of course. Well, as far as the quotes that I have, but it would have to be a lot to do with the manager, of course. What right player he wants to.
Given how the dreaded vote of confidence,
and how yesterday saying that under these conditions, and I got to be careful what I say. It is a risk, and all of that made it seem like we had 10 quid to buy players, and the CEO saying that more or less that wasn't an issue. Then who is right? And who is wrong? Or maybe they're both right and they're both wrong. We don't know. We shall see in the summer. But that's it's a conversation that we're going to continue to have, of course, throughout the whole time until the summer window, and maybe beyond that. And hopefully, it's not a crap show like it was. To be fair, before Hopkinson took over. So there you go. Let's see what we got here as far as. There you go. Let's see what's going on. We face Manchester City, and that's going to be a game and a half, ladies and gents, for Newcastle United. What do we need to do? It's a very, very, very touchy subject. Do we have enough? Is the question. One of our new writers now, Liam Rafferty, on the website. He's going to start writing stuff. He worked in other major websites before, and he's done broadcasting. By the way, he's done broadcasting for Blythe Spartans, and I didn't tell him that you and his brother doomed the club, but we shall introduce that whenever slowly but surely.
Already told him.
Yeah. Oh, you did? You already talked to him?
And he was saying Tony was only there for 7 months, the first 7 months, and he says, "Look what's happened since he's gone."
Yeah, he was only there for 7 months. Your brother?
No, Liam. Their periods overlap only for 7 months. So Tony started him. He was there for 7 months.
There you go. And
before the new lot took over, and the new lot.
He's got a new. He put a new piece on the website. Check out the website, by the way, NUFCTalkRadio.com, and you can see stuff. You can listen to us live. You can see the broadcast schedule, our prediction table. You know how to get involved, the ways to listen to us 24/7, etc. And obviously a new article came out yesterday about what his predicted lineup would be tonight. And that is going to be the biggest topic of discussion. That's why I want all fans to give us a call right now, 0191-916-8864. So you can tell us what you would do if it came to the lineup, because it's very crucial. Listen, we're going to have to go and try to win this game. I mean, we can't just roll over. It's 2 goals. Matter of fact, 1 goal early can set the tone for what's to come. But the main thing is we've got to finish our opportunities. We can't just mess around. We can't, really. We got to be our whoever plays up front is going to have to be very clinical. Whatever winger's up there is going to have to be very clinical. Now, he put up a lineup like Pope. I don't think there's any doubt that he's going to start Pope. And then he put Kieran Trippier on the right, Malik Chiao, Byrne, and Lewis Hall. So he would put who's going to be Lewis Hall? Oh yeah, Lewis Hall. I was thinking of Lewis Miley for some reason. I'm like, what the heck? Lewis Hall left back. So that, I mean, Botman not playing. We don't know what's going on with Botman, obviously. Eddie Howe confirmed that Sven Botman is okay, in his pre-match press conference, there remains doubt over whether he's ready or not. And in this particular game, would you play Botman? You probably wouldn't risk him, would you? But I think Barron will do a job. Do you have does that concern you whatsoever? The back line.
Well, I don't think we've got any choice but play trips at the minute, unless we go with the three at the back and like a Murphy. I don't know, Murphy right wing back. But no, I think that's what we've got to go with. But Botman apparently has passed a fitness test, so he's in the thing. So if Botman is fit, there's an opportunity for three at the back there.
Well, somebody, Kenny on YouTube chat said, asking, did he rest Saturday for? Does he rest players Saturday for tonight? Well, it's going to answer a lot of questions.
Question I asked at the time when I saw the substitutions and things, but
that question remains because he didn't play center forward. You would assume if you're going to make that type of a decision.
So and Asula came on, so he is fit. So you could risk Voltemada and Wissa starting because at least you've got Asula to come off the bench if anything untoward happens. So it wouldn't bother me at all. Oh, well, I want to see them start together.
Yeah, but don't hold your breath, or maybe do.
Hang on, this station's mine now. Remember?
Yeah, you'll see. You'll see what happens.
Eddie Howe will never, ever, 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 ever start with San Voltemada. 2 weeks later, what happens? They're both.
Well, no.
And that was in a cup competition as well, by the way.
You didn't find the proof. That's why I didn't leave the channel. You didn't find the proof. You got to find the proof. And you can't just show up somewhere. You got to find the proof. But he only did it one time, and it actually worked, if you really think about it. It kind of worked. The problem is he never did it again. You can't just do one thing and just never do it again. What's the point? Now, but again, people like you were talking about no replacement and all that rubbish. So now he's got a replacement. So he better do it tonight if you're really trying to win. But to be fair, we can't be daft either. I mean, just because you put two center forwards don't mean that you're going to attack more.
Short, targeted memory. We can have a prime Alan Shearer up front tonight and we'll still not win. Let's face it, if we can't beat them at home, what's the chances of we? Can you just remind me what happened about 6 weeks ago? Oh, yes, we beat them at home.
Us at home, not them at home.
No, we beat Man City at home.
Yeah,
in the league,
at home.
In the league, he's saying we can't beat them at home, never mind away. We did beat them at home.
Well, he's talking about the most recent one. You're only as good as your last game, man. Is that easy?
And when we beat them, that was when we first got Tino and Hall back.
Exactly.
And we haven't had Tino since.
Yeah, we don't have it. So we don't have him tonight. So no, we have.
No, I agree.
We have had him since. So don't lie either.
But at home is nonsense.
Well, you're trying to be right just for the sake of it, and that's the problem. Tonight, man. Tonight, what's happening tonight is the question. Stop trying to be right for no reason. I understand you want to be right. That fuels you every day. You just want to be right. Me. But at the end of the day,
rule number one: the mighty win is always right.
Yeah. Okay.
Rule number two: in the event of the mighty win being wrong, rule one applies.
The point here is, aside from you, is that tonight we don't have those players. And to be honest, Livramento, they play great, but with Livramento, we're playing rubbish as well many times. So it's not the end of the world. And then you got midfield that you got Bruno. I mean, Bruno, I don't know if he's going to play. Oh, yeah, that's right. He did knacker him, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Tonali, of course, is going to be Tonali, Ramsey, and Willock. And there's that right there. When you look at that midfield, I mean, it's just that's it, isn't it? I mean, look, once again, Tonali's going to get criticized tonight. I'm letting you know what's going to happen, all right? Tonali is going to get crucified by you and the lot tonight. Although he's going to be doing, as per usual, holding this team together by a thread, because Willock, Ramsey, and everybody else are going to be sprinting forward like a headless chicken, and nobody's going to be taking care of the team. Tonali's going to have to do that. Unfortunately, it's a job that that's very, very, very tough to do. Goes on, never appreciated, and people are going to be whinging about Tonali tonight. So just letting you know what's going to happen. And as long hopefully it works.
As long as
hopefully
it works.
Give
the ball away.
Hopefully it works.
Been doing.
Yeah, when you're absolutely knackered from running around, keeping the team together, yeah, you might misplace a pass every now and then, and that's the problem. The ingrates out there is the issue, not Tonali. Central midfield with, of course, Sergio Willock, Tonali, and Ramsey. I don't know how that's going to work, but it kind of worked, with Liverpool in the first half, and then it didn't. But then you got, of course, Liam has on his article, Gordon, Barnes, and Wissa up front. His choice for Wissa was is tipped to start ahead of Nick Voltemada, with his pace seen as key to exploiting space in behind Man City's defense. I mean, we're gonna probably disagree with the fact that the thing, though, we can't disagree with Liam's. We are going to
disagree, surely not.
No, we can't disagree with Liam's lineup either, because, first of all, Eddie Howe is not going to play two center forwards together. Let's be honest here. He's done it one time, never did it again. Hasn't even done it when we needed a goal, or he doesn't even done that for like 2 minutes. I think, he did it last, when he did it. He did it against Liverpool, didn't he? But obviously.
He had 3 on.
He had 3 on. So, but I don't know from the start that's going to happen. And if we were trying to argue with Liam Rafferty, our new writer, and quickly upgrade him, because he can write good stuff. He did a piece on Lascelles as well. Very interesting. Check it out. How are we gonna fit 2 strikers here? Gordon has to play. Barnes has to play. You're gonna have to take a midfielder out. And by the way, your usual nonsense to me about 4-2-3-1 is like you're gonna take a midfielder out and not have help in the middle. But well, listen, with Joe Willock and Ramsey,
in a double pivot in front of the back.
With Joe Willock and Ramsey, you're not getting any help anyway. So it's not like you're losing another, Joe Linton who can be a bruiser in the middle and hold things up and whatever. With Ramsey and Willock, they're gonna be other wing. They're gonna be just wingers. Willock more than Ramsey, to be fair. So, what do you mean double pivot? What would you do as far as how do you put those 2 center forwards in?
Well, I would like to see 3 at the back.
But who's the 3 at the back? When you can't put 3 at the back.
Botman's just passed the fitness test.
Nah, how way?
Got Byrne, Botman, Chow at the back in front of Pope. I would have Hall with more or less a free role on the left, but predominantly tooled to work alongside Sandro as along with the double pivot there. You've got Trips there who can get up the right wing. He cannot get back, but he can get up. And I would drop Willock for Voltemada.
Well, let me tell you this.
Ramsey is more defensive minded than Willock is, and if you've got Wissa and Voltemada on, that should be sufficient threat in the box without needing Willock to come and make his late runs.
Well, you can just do 4-2-3-1, take Willock out, and keep Ramsey and Tonali in the middle. And with
no, but I'm talking about maybe for future proofing, start to develop Hall as a left side.
Mate, you're looking too far ahead, mate. We got a task in hand right now. We don't need to find it around.
Well, that's what you see.
You're looking too far ahead. What you think about? Let's make Lewis Hall a midfielder, and we're looking at that. Look at that. Eddie Howe will not do that. And matter of fact, Christina Cage coming in here and saying that I don't think Gordon starts tonight. Well, let me tell you
There's
something.
the thing.
If Gordon doesn't start tonight, you believe that? Gordon doesn't start tonight? There's no chance that Gordon doesn't start tonight. Gordon starts if the end of the world is happening. He's going to start tonight when we need him. He's going to start tonight.
And what if he doesn't?
I'll leave the channel. Again.
Ooh.
I have no listen. I'm going. I need you guys to be right because I'm knackered right now. So I need to go. I need to be going. Listen. Well, to be fair, I wouldn't like it if Gordon doesn't play because we need somebody like him right now. As much as I criticize him, as much as he doesn't have, as much as he doesn't have good games,
boom boom button.
As much as he doesn't have, he has one good game, 3 bad ones. It's because we need all the meat on the grill. All the meat on the grill.
I agree.
It's just as simple as that. We need to score 2 goals at least, man. At least. Genuine question: is this game worth getting any injuries on our main players? Well, yeah, but I mean, you can have them. You can't have them. You can't have that mentality, though. You can't have that mentality, though, man. You know, it's. I understand it. But look, I get what you're saying, but I don't get what you're saying. I mean, we have to go out there and try. Listen. Look, here's the thing, man. If we got 0 goals by halftime, I mean,
we are knackered.
We're knackered. There's no chance. But if we score 1 in the first half, then we're starting to cook. By the way,
I think Martin Mancunian Mag said the very same. That the first goal tomorrow night is crucial
on either team.
Yeah, but that's generally the case anyway. To be fair, but.
But
you know,
if they score ones, why not? Good?
Yeah, if they score 1, the wind will be out of our sails. Because
if they score 1, I mean, here's the thing. You'll probably find people that will criticize this, but if they score the first by halftime, we're not gonna do it first half though. But by halftime, you got to put the kids in. You got to put everybody because then you got bigger fish to fry because unfortunately, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. You're not gonna score 3 goals there, and especially it's knowing us, the morale as soon as they score, the morale is gonna go plummet. So you just got to put the kids in, you know, put Gillespie in, Rudy, everybody in there, and just call it a day, and let's get in the end. Because it's just not going to happen. However,
that would give us a chance if we could play 2 goalies.
No. One, you put Rudy as a center back or something. If we need, because we can't. Again, man, we can't risk these players. And I would agree with Toon not then. And some people would find a reason to criticize that. How could you give up on that? Well, listen, but most sensible fans would say, look, there's no chance we're going to come back from this. Which, by the way. Bigger things have
stranger things have happened in football.
But you know, so you believe we can score 3 goals tonight? Got it. But it's only 2 goals that you need to be in the game, and then it's 0-0 again. It's only 2, and it's 0-0, right? And of course, if you're looking for 2 goals,
and if you're 2-0, you've got all the momentum.
Yeah, but one thing about Newcastle is we. Absolutely. If the center forwards have to be on target, clinical, the center backs have to be absolutely flawless tonight. Flawless means flawless. The defense, really. I'm kind of falling into that numpty, way of thinking that center backs are if they're good, then you defend good. They're part of it, but the whole team needs to defend good. The midfielders need to be on point. The right back and the left back, they need to be on point. Maybe not go forward recklessly. You know, it's a very, very difficult. The task tonight is extremely, extremely difficult because, I mean, it is. You know, you got to defend perfect, you got to attack perfect. So, basically, you got to have a perfect game. And listen, but we got to get behind the lads now. We can't say that it's over, man. You know, a lot of people are knackered right now. Jordy, then they put the kids on. We ain't winning, so would be a good training session for the. Here we go. What is the chat? The comments on the YouTube side of things are depressing, man. Michael, trouble is too now. There will be a big traveling support, so we need to put up some kind of display. Well, I mean, fans will be there, but that can't dictate how you play.
5,000 odd going down tonight.
Yeah, but that can't dictate how you play, though. I mean, it's just like it's like when I went to the Toon and the people were telling me they were feeling bad for me because I traveled so long. It's just the way it is, man. That's only got 3 options when you go visit a football match. You win, draw, or lose. So can't complain if it goes a bad way. It's just it is what it is. Alec McMurtry, don't think it matters who starts. Going Man City 2 down. I'm not hopeful. It'd be nice to see from Alec McMurtry. I think you're Scottish, living in Newcastle. So call us now. Have your say, mate. 0191 916 8864. Call us and have your say. We like to get new callers in to have their opinion. Nami says, if Man United can beat City, we can too. What was that? Was that away? Was that over there at the Etihad? They did beat him, though.
That was at
Old Trafford. Well, yeah. For some reason, their ground is another impossible ground for us before their takeover. So I'm not sure why. But that has been the case, to say the least. Michael, if I was traveling, I would be so mad.
It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are.
If we didn't put big players, but fans are going to be mad. But just again, we can't dig. Listen, man, there are fans that don't rate Walter Mata, for example, at all. But I think we should probably play with two of them up front. So Eddie Howe cannot go with the flow with fans. I mean that's not a thing. Ultimately, however we do it, if we're able to go to penalties or something, people are going to say, look, we put up a good display. And ultimately, maybe that's the goal as well. Just make it the penalties. You score 1 goal and you're back. You're in business. 1 goal and you're in business, man. I mean, it's not really that impossible. In some of the comments tonight are from the happy clappers too, man. It's insane. Still bad dad here says, however, when we needed a top up until the end of the season is plain to see. That's from an earlier conversation. We need maybe a few players here and there. It was plain to see.
Well,
you were defending the indefensible
players in. Look, we're going to have to buy. I'm pinching a bogey line here. We're going to have to buy fullbacks in the summer. So buying a proper fullback now, who you've researched, this is what Ross Wilson should have been doing, who you've researched and so on and so forth. Buying him in the window isn't taking any money away from the summer window, because you've got the player that you're going to buy in the summer. So that hasn't taken any money out of the kitty at all. It's just moved it forward. And we've got the money to do that with. Help you the rest of the season. It's a no-brainer for me. But
Graham says,
have they identified the right one? That's the thing.
Graham there says, of course we can win. He said,
hopefully,
hopefully, but dishonestly, who to blame for lack of transfers? The rules, of course, is tired.
Hackneyed rhetoric.
What the heck is that?
The rules
feels like
it's tired. Hackneyed rhetoric. Feels like
we're going backwards
in leaps and bounds.
Michael, it seems every club spend at the same time. Surely to buy when window is quiet is less competition would be a way to go. Exactly. That's one way of looking at it. Perfect. Kenny, you watch the whole plan collapses in the summer. Wow. Jordy Dan, 21 million, not a bit steep. Well, yeah, I mean, it just didn't seem like if Shirley Mighty Win charging me for drinks. Adam NUFC.
But even if you've got 21 million, that's effectively 100 million.
Yeah, but don't you understand when the club doesn't look at it like that? Don't you understand that by now? It's not, the club doesn't look at it like that.
The club have got no choice but look at it like that.
No, but they're not, because they're not buying a player. They're not. They're not seeing, you know what, the 20 million we can buy a top center back now with that money that they put aside. They're not looking at it. We would have attempted to get somebody like that, but we didn't.
Well, would we? That's the point.
Adam, Christina, it seems like Eddie didn't like the players who was available this window. Well, that's
yeah. Well, what we haven't, you see, that's the thing we haven't heard. We haven't heard, for example, that Ross Wilson went out, identified X, Y, and Z.
Do you believe that that's not the case?
And said to Eddie, "Do you want these?" And Eddie said, "No."
Yeah, but think about it, right? Just use common sense if you can. Although Hazel has kept us in the loop, and so now we know more than we didn't. But Ross Wilson, his sole job is to do that. If he didn't bring any, do you really believe that he wouldn't have brought any option for him to buy? Do you really believe that? There's a chance that happened. Where the DOF didn't bring any players.
The conversations that we were hearing right through the window was Eddie saying, "We are waiting to see how bad these injuries are and how close we get to getting these." I'm speaking specifically about the defenders.
When?
We need to see how close we are to getting them back. Before we make any decisions.
Here's the thing, man. I think you're trying to work your ticket, man. Stop it, man. Stop it. Jordy Gibbs and the Gregor Market.
You can't say that on radio. Proper work your ticket.
I'm just saying, man. You are you're working your ticket because look, even CEO right here. I got the quote that. We have an amazing sporting director in Ross Wilson. He's been my first call in the morning and my last call at night every day this month. What are they talking about? Fish and chips in the sloughs, sitting sloughs? No, they're talking about transfers, players. The activity has been incredibly high. We didn't find the right opportunity for an acquisition, and we had the room to do so. It's clear and obvious, man. There were players out there that they saw that they had. So what? If you use common sense, if you
believe that, if you believe what Hopkinson has just said,
well, you have to. Wouldn't you?
Well, okay, so you believe that they had a look and there was nothing there that was suitable,
or that
that's exactly what he said.
Yeah, but the CEO doesn't determine. That's a proper right back right there. We need to get him. No, he doesn't. That's not his job.
Read that again. What you just read. The direct
no. Listen. Yeah, the activity has been incredibly high. We didn't find the right opportunity for an acquisition, but we had room to do so. Yeah, he does. A CEO, if I'm a CEO or something, I don't. It's not his specialty to look at players and if he would fit good on the team or he wouldn't. It's not his thing.
What was the start of that quote? In Ross Wilson, we have an excellent
Ross Wilson.
He follows that up with we looked at loads and loads of players. And we didn't find the right one.
Yeah, but you are assuming that what is more feasible to have happen, right? Ross Wilson looking at a talent and says, I don't think Eddie will like him anyway. Chuck him my way. Or Ross Wilson, let me ask the manager if he would be interested in this guy. What's more feasible to happen when?
Right now, so let's assume that
you're answering somebody. Answer my question though.
That the latter is the case. So Ross Wilson has gone to Eddie Howe and said, "What about this player?" And Eddie said no. Right. And Ian.
That's the most probable case, by the way.
Right. Okay. So Ian on this very channel, Supermac, said, if that's the case, Ross Wilson should be able to turn around to Eddie and say, "Look, Eddie, you're not looking at this," and identify all the things that have made Ross Wilson think he's suitable, and Eddie says no, and they have a conversation where he said, but because of this, because of this, because of this. And if Ross Wilson cannot persuade Eddie that what he's seen in the kid is more important than what Eddie's seeing in the kid, then Ross Wilson isn't doing his job.
No, wait, what? Come on, man. Wait. What are you on about? Why is it everybody's fault, man? Everybody else's fault. I swear, man. It's just crazy. But I also will admit, from what Eddie Howe, the way he speaks, he wants to say more than he can say, and maybe just maybe, the situation where maybe there's something an underlying issue there that he doesn't want to speak. He's holding something, which again, it would be nice to hear, but he's not going to do it. It doesn't seem like Eddie's that guy that come out. At some point though, he's going to have to say, look, I'm just going to have to say what I need to say, because if I'm the one getting pelters left and right, and everybody's so perfect, everybody's doing their job, everybody's doing this, then I'm just going to have to come out and say what I need to say. At some point, that's just the truth will always come out, man. You just gotta let it out. But again, he's got a job to do as well. He's got people. Hopkinson is his boss, no matter how you. Because and then the next thing Eddie Wynn will say that Hopkinson can't do nothing without Eddie Howe's approval all of a sudden. Because I mean, that's where you're going at some point. By the way, we got to call it. Try to call again, mate. Travoy, try to call again. Didn't get through. So there you go. Try to call us now. 0191-916-8864. Let's see. Wizza isn't that fast, says Gavin Fuller. He certainly doesn't look that fast no more, man. I don't know if it's the white trunks or what's going on, but he seems to have been going to the sit and sluice quite often since he's been to Newcastle, or the sausage.
Wizza is fast enough, don't.
Listen, he ain't looking like it. I tell you, I watched him live, man. James, there we go. Here we go from Travoy calling us now from Cardiff. Travoy, how are you, mate?
Hey, good, buds. You all okay?
Hey, Travoy.
We're doing great. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Vin, how you doing?
Not bad, my man. Not bad. When do you go back to the Falklands?
I'll head back to the Falklands probably around the 28th or probably the 9th of March, between those dates.
Oh, so we've got a month of you
at
anyway.
the moment. Still on crutches at the moment.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you think, mate?
Yeah.
What do you think what's going on? What's your opinion?
Well, first of all, obviously everybody knows that I'm not an Eddie Howe fan at all, but I don't really want to get into like Eddie Howe all the time now, because it looks like he's going to be with us for a while, or at least till the end of the season. But I just want to go on the fact that our recruitment is a shambles, in my opinion. There, you got Hopkinson. I watched the whole interview today with Hopkinson, which I thought was very good. And like he's a positive type of CEO, which I really like. And obviously we didn't get some answers, but most of the time we had money to spend in January. That was an answer that we had. So like, whose decision was it to keep Willock instead of taking 20 million? And we were linked with the boy Sabi, who went to FC Paris for 21 million. Now, in my opinion, whoever's decision that was to do that deal and to not take the Willock deal and give up on the Sabi deal, that is where the problem lies. Whoever is making those decisions, that's where the problem lies, because that boy could go on to become a 70 million pound player. We don't know. But we keep him Willock, who's played 3 good games in 4 seasons. And that is where the whole problem lies with our recruitment.
Great points there. I can't justify not selling Willock, to be fair. I think there's a notion where I don't even want to call it sentimentality. I don't even know what it is. I mean, but it feels like it's I feel like that feels like a manager thing.
It depends. It depends on whether you think Savvy could have come in to our team and played in the first team. Because here's the thing. We've turned down 20 million, so on the face of it, we've lost 20 million because you'll go for a free in the summer. But it all depends now on how many games Willock plays between now and the end of the season. Because if Willock plays, I don't know, 10, 12 games between now and the end of the season, and he scores with 3 goals that get 9 points in the Premier League, then that 20 million is well spent. But if he doesn't, if as soon as Bruno and Miley come back from their injuries, he's sitting on the bench and he ends up playing, I don't know, 200 minutes between now and the end of the season, then it's £20 million that's been thrown down the drain.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be £20 million thrown down the drain either way, in my opinion, because Joe Willock has scored 3 goals. How many? You know, he hasn't performed in 3-4 seasons. Like literally, he hasn't done.
Well, he's been injured. That's the problem.
Justify even. Yeah, but he does it. That's the problem. We don't move players on. We need to start moving players on quicker.
I agree.
For instance, we had Almiron. We had a great remember that season when he had all of those goals and he had a great year. Perfect time to move Almiron on. We kept him the next year. Value dropped. Almiron had a bad season. Not such a great season. Same thing with last year with Jacob Murphy. Had a great season. Kept him on. Jacob Murphy is about 30 years old, or is 30 years old. Kept him on. You ain't going to get no value for Jacob Murphy. Sometimes he looks like a League One player or less. So this is the problem, like moving players on. I mean, you know, in the Fan Forum WhatsApp group, I put a list of young players out there that I've been working on for a while. And I've been watching, you know, obviously I can't watch them live or anything, but I've been watching for a while. I can name, out of the 6 signings we made in the summer, from my list that I gave on the WhatsApp group, I can literally give you 6 better players than what we signed in our summer. From that list, that would have cost us less than $250 million. That's what I mean. The recruitment, or whoever is making decisions in recruitment, is terrible at making those decisions. And you all know Elanga's not 50 mil. You all know that Wissa's not 50 mil. You all know if we sign Aaron Ramsdale for 20 million in the summer and make that loan permanent, we are doomed. Like literally doomed.
We are not gonna.
Yeah, we are not gonna. That is like simply like. Love it. Aaron Ramsdale. I've seen Aaron Ramsdale live when I went watch Southampton and Wolves. I'm not got nothing against Aaron Ramsdale. He's a tiny goalkeeper. He can't get the football. So even in the goal, when people are shooting against him, there's so much space to shoot against him in the goal. And I was sitting right behind the goal when Wolves battered him, and he couldn't touch any of the goals that went in. And that is his problem. So the only reason he's in a team is because Eddie had him in back at Bournemouth. So, like, I think Eddie Howe needs to be taken off our recruitment, and it needs to be down to Ross Wilson now and the scouting team to decide to bring Eddie a list and decide, you know, out of a big list, they all need to sit down and say, look, hopefully we can get them for, you know, less than.
You're breaking up there, Trevor.
You're breaking up there, but at the end of the day, though, it is not going to happen, though. I mean, you know, the structure is the way it is right now. It doesn't feel like.
The point is, with regard to the list that they put on the fans forum, we see those all the time, and every fan's got a different list.
You do the same, by the way. And you do the same on the other end. So.
How's that? What do I do?
You send these lists, these stats, these graphics to justify things that are not defendable.
No, I use stats. I'm not talking about personal opinions about how good a footballer can be or whatever. But what I'm saying, Trevor put a list up of 6 players that he thinks could do a job who nobody's ever heard of, and then Connor will put a list up of 6 players that he thinks could do a better job, and somebody else will put another list up of 6 players. And they're by and large, as Trevor's just said, I've never seen them play, but so all they're doing is going on transfer mark stats, foot mob stats.
Yeah, but an easy. So that everything is great then, hunky dory. The way things are.
Everything's not hunky dory, but that's.
So then, what are you on about?
Well,
because it doesn't make sense.
Is you've got to. This is. But yeah, they've appointed Ross Wilson. Hopkinson's just given him a massive vote of confidence. Stevie Gerrard gave him a glowing report. You let him get on and do his job.
Well, who's saying that he's not getting on and doing his job? His job, it seems like, the DOF's job right now, it seems like, he is the job of getting players and presenting them to Eddie Howe. And Eddie Howe makes the final decision whether it's yes or no.
Yeah, well,
that's the job, it seems like. You agree with that?
Steve Nelson, I think is top. I think he's top. Like he found Dore for $15 million a few years ago from the PSG winger, and Eddie. We didn't end up signing him. I'm not saying that Eddie is the one that didn't want him, but we didn't end up going for him. The boy is a wild beater. He's in the best team in the world right now. He's a really good player. He's a probably £100 and something million player right now. So that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have.
Yeah. You're breaking up there, Travoy. We're gonna have to let you go, mate. You're breaking up there for a second,
okay.
but I appreciate you calling, and you make excellent points.
All right.
Excellent points that Win doesn't want to give you airtime, unfortunately, because you disagree with him. I will bring you on.
Travoy, don't listen to the numpty.
Well, I'll get you on, Travoy. Don't worry, man. But top notch. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one, mate. Safe travels if we don't talk to you then, but call us now. Call us soon. Cheers. And that was Travoy, ladies and gents. We got 20 minutes left on the show. You are listening to NUFC Talk Radio.
You are listening to NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army. Live daily on the website, on YouTube, on BAB, and on every online radio directory. NUFC Talk, the voice of the Toon Army.
In the words of Chris, it's criminal, says Rackstad. And in the words of Win,
we are knackered.
Shout out to everybody out there. Don't forget to smash the like button. 20 minutes left on the show here. Give us a call, 0191-916-8864. Call us and have your say, ladies and gents.
Interesting remark here from Dinesta. And I'm not comparing Eddie to Pep, by the way. But he says, not even Pep got the final say at City. It's Hugo Viana. If you're telling me Pep hasn't got any say at Man City,
yeah, but that has to do.
Mind, man.
That has to do.
Get out your mind, man.
That has to do a lot with Win, and this is when we get into these comparisons. I agree with you that that's not true. Pep Guardiola.
That's all I'm saying.
The final say. However, that's Pep Guardiola. That's Alex Ferguson. That's Arsene Wenger. Those managers have had a right or earned a right to be able to do that in the world of football. Unfortunately, Eddie's not on that level yet. So you still have to work with him, or he has to work with. We got to work with each other to find players and what the best option is. It's just.
I believe this. He said we've been working non-stop. I've been talking to him day and night, but we haven't managed to identify anybody suitable.
Yeah. Well, again, I know where that's going, but I know I basically. I think the Ross Wilson found players that Eddie Howe didn't like, and now listen, we're gonna have to see at the end of the season and to see what happened, what happens. If it was a smart move, if it wasn't, I don't think that we should have signed too many players either. So maybe one, if that. I don't even know exactly where we need a player. To be fair, where do we need a player? Maybe a center back, if that. But he wouldn't even play that much.
Centre back with Cher and Byrne being as long in the tooth as they are.
Yeah.
We're going to be lucky to get another year out of both of them.
Yeah. Let's go with some comments, and then we'll finish up with another quote from Hopkinson on TalkSport earlier today. And again, watch this space because we, listen, in the future, we might try to get the CEO on here and have a word and speak with him. To North Americans, we can make a deal done. We can make a deal done. You put two North Americans anywhere, man, we're going to get the proper deal done. Don't worry, man. Devin Warrior. Let's go finish up with the chat though. Here,
the art
James,
of the deal.
The art of the deal. The art of the deal. James says it only Eddie talks PSR. Only Eddie talks PSR problems. To be fair, that is a fact. Only he has come out and mentioned that. Chills. Sporting director responsibility is to hire all the coaching and medical staff. Well, some coaches will come with some of their coaching, people already. So that's not unusual by any means. But generally, you got a point there. Daniel Taylor says, we have no scouts outside of Europe. Shout out to Daniel Taylor. Michael, by the way, Tino and Hull played for Chelsea youth, and they ditched them so much for the youth coaches. Mercury Dime, I predict that we win 2-0 and go through pens. How way the lads? Well, that's one way of looking at it. It's only one option. Michael Gramslow there says, perfect game to test Wizard and Waltamare again, in my opinion. Chiao needs to rest as well if possible. Don't forget that you can enjoy Michael Gramslow and Gary Thomas on the live match commentary later on tonight. The build-up, though, with either Peter, Tim, I think Christina is there as well. So, check it out. There's going to be a good things going on. Build-up 2 hours and a half before kickoff, giving you the latest, everything leading up to the game. We certainly need to do that. Everything leading, that's what a build-up is for. Everything leading up to the game, lineups and everything else. So thank you very much. Join us later on tonight. Michael says, sorry to say Wissa so far is not a top striker, middle of league. Well, to be fair, he had one great season last season. Before that, he hasn't had this top season that he hasn't been. He's 30, I think, almost, isn't he? So he hasn't been lighting it up in his whole career. It was last season. Great goals, by the way. Not just tap-ins. I think somebody was saying tap-ins yesterday. It wasn't just tap-ins. Great goals, but it was one season. Wissa isn't fastest, Gavin Fuller. Christina, I don't think Gordon starts tonight. Michael, does anyone seriously think we can win?
Yep.
Well, I mean, I just need to see one goal. We score one goal, and we're in business. Jordy Dan, put the kids on. We ain't winning, so it would be a good training session for them. Charles there says, we don't have any strikers to cross, so what is crossing going to do for us? Tell me that. By the way, yesterday, wasn't it Chelsea or Arsenal and Chelsea, another set-piece play for Arsenal? I mean, it's insane how they're doing that.
We're not tough because Newcastle have had more corners than any other team in the Prem.
It's correct.
And we're just not doing anything with them at all.
Yeah.
And we brought in arguably the best set-piece team in Europe in the summer, and I've seen no evidence whatever that anything they are doing is working. That's not strictly true. We've seen the odd example of it, but not enough by any stretch of the imagination. Because the fact that we're getting the number of corners we're getting means that, by and large, our attacking system is working because we're getting corners. But if you can't convert the corners, what's the point of getting them?
Ricky D says, Ahmad scored the winner at the Etihad last year. Rockstar, was it KK who said always buy better? Are we?
Yeah. Why not?
Giniesta, Jay Murphy, and Pope Willock should all have been sold, but it looks like we'll get 0 for them now. Well, Pope, you might get some money for it. You can all get money for some of them, for all of them, really. But the thing is, you're probably not going to get as much money as you could have. D. Thompson, keeping players too long affects our PSR. We should move them on to get the best price for them or buy younger.
Well, that's what Jamie was effectively saying last night, and most people were agreeing with him. I'm not sure that I did. Was that we've got to accept that we need to sell our best players to bigger clubs for big money and reinvest and go on, on the Brighton model
Well, Jefferson was saying that as well. But
that's what I'm saying. I know that. I'm saying I was the only one who disagreed with that, because if you do that,
but
if you sell 80, 90 million pound players and buy 30, 40 million pound players, you end up where Brighton and Bournemouth are, mid-table.
No, because I agree with the recruiting, and I wouldn't be the seller like Brighton. I wouldn't sell like Brighton. I would be reluctant, but you have to sell a Mintel or an Anderson that maybe later on become good, and you're like, oh my God, how could we sell Anderson? But that's not really a bad thing if you keep proper players. But anyways, we got a new caller now calling us. What's your name, mate? How are you? Oh, hung up there. So we'll see. We'll see if the call is back. Call us back 0191-916-8864. Call us and have your say. What do you think is going to happen tonight against Man City?
What do I think is going to happen tonight? I think we're going to come out the starting blocks, as we always do. Every single game, we'll have a brilliant first 10 minutes. Except for the only exception to that was PSG, when we had a brilliant 90 minutes after it. But most games we start really well. A lot of times we take the lead, and then that's when chaos reigns and something happens, and the flicks a switch in the players' brains, and all of a sudden everything goes from being rosy to being rotten.
I'm Eddie Howe now.
What's going to happen tonight is the big question, ladies and gents. Let us know in the comment section what you think. Can we get the job done is the big question tonight.
You're seriously asking that question?
We are knackered.
We are knackered.
We are knackered, ladies and gents. But look, there's
by
got to
the
be
way,
some
for the benefit of our radio listeners, my lips are not moving when any of those things are said.
We got the soundboard. That's why you got to be careful what you say on this radio station, because everything is recorded and it can use against you in a court of law. And the law is the soundboard, the magic soundboard, ladies and gents. It's going to be a tough game, but you know, we got no choice. We just got to go out there and try to get it. But the thing is, if you're Newcastle United, do you go gun ho and just try to get the goal in? Do you you're going to have to, what is the game plan? Because we can all see here said, we got to defend perfect, we got to attack perfect. That's the game plan. Well, easier said than done.
No,
I usually say football is a short blanket. You either cover your feet or your head, but you can't cover both. So are you going to attack? Because the fullbacks are going to have to go forward, meaning the center backs are going to they're going to leave spaces back there. So what's going to be the game plan?
Well, it's different in a way to 99% of games, in that we're not going in 0-0. We're going in 0-2. We're 2 goals down. So we've got to attack. It's a must-win game. You've just got to attack. And if that leaves gaps at the back, so be it. Hope your defence and your goalkeeper can keep the clean sheet. But you have to attack. I'll be devastated. It's not a game where, for example, you can think, if we can keep them at bay for the first half, let's say, we can go and maybe get a breakaway goal in the second half. No, we need 2 goals. Got to go from the start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to be a difficult situation. But yeah, I mean, you do have to have some type of attacking
ambition
mindset. Yeah, you're gonna have to get the first goal is very important. No, that's key. First goal is very important. Gavin Fuller, why if you were Eddie out 3 points of UCL at Christmas, we will at Christmas we are 7 points now with less games left. Oh, he's asking you because you said you said what you said.
When I said that, they never play the full flow. That was because at that time, that was after the Man United game, when we were 9 points behind Champions League, 6 points behind Champions League, and we were 12th in the league, I believe. And we'd played the game more because we were the first ones to play the game. So everybody else had another game to play. It just so happened, and I said that was why the reason I was Eddie out, because my line in the sand was 3 points within Champions League after the Christmas fixtures. We then went and beat Burnley, and none of the other teams got a point. So we ended up exactly there, 3 points off Champions League after the Christmas fixtures, which is my line in the sand. So I definitely am not Eddie out. Now we'll wait till the end of the season. If we're not in Europe, then unless there are exceptional circumstances, if we continue to get the injuries or something, there'll be a reason for it. That's fair enough. But failing that, if we get a clean bill of health, more or less, you're always going to get injuries, obviously, but as long as we get a clean bill of health, then I think with this squad, with the money that was spent in summer, we should be certainly in Europe and potentially challenging for Champions League. There's been a lot of reasons for the first half of the season not going as well as it could have done, but that's done now. We've got to get on and get the job done. And I've got every faith that he will do. So there you go.
I didn't even play the violin, man. That would have been that would have been lovely for that King speech. This is not impossible whatsoever. The pressure is on Man City to keep the lead. We can do this, lads. We got to believe, no doubt about it. The pressure being on Man City, I don't know either about all that. I mean, they got the score. They're going to first of all, I don't think that they're going to be.
Here's the thing: they've got a massive game at the weekend against Liverpool. Is Pep with a 2-0 lead going to think job done and not put all his meat on the grill? And if that happens, that gives us a bigger chance.
And then you'll switch up against this, you guys. Well, there you go. There you go.
Kind of be bothered with all this YouTube politics, to be honest.
There you go. Everybody knows you already, man. They can't take you serious, man. Everybody knows you already. By the way, it was, if I'm not mistaken, not too long ago. It was long ago. 20 years ago, ladies and gents. Alan Shearer finally surpasses the one and only War Jackie with the all-time record to become our all-time leading scorer with the famous celebration, pointing up in the air. Number 9, swiftly taps it in. It wasn't just a tap in. Actually, it was a good goal. But strong.
The Gallagher end stuck it in.
And the Gallagher end, of course. It wasn't the right end that was bound to happen, but I mean he got a job done, to be fair, in such a short amount of time compared to War Jackie. War Jackie was at the club for 60 years, I think, playing football. So which War Jackie, amazing, a legend, Toon legend. Those are the people that deserve a testimonial.
And he got one.
Exactly, not Jamal Lascelles. Come on, man.
There.
You were there? Oh my God, that speaks. That speaks. But don't tell people your age, mate. Don't tell people your age. But no, War Jackie, amazing stuff, and of course Alan Shearer, the GOAT of center forwards, and and the Gallagher end, ladies and gents. Well, we shall see what's going to happen tonight. It's going to be a great thing. We got to go, of course. But listen, join us on the live match commentary later on tonight. Thank you for joining us all. Appreciate all your support and everybody that called in. We will see you later on the instant match reaction. But follow the build-up, the live match commentary, and on and on and on. See you later, folks. Away the lads.
Away the lads.